Yeah, so can we talk about XRP now? So Judge Torres, there was a few articles and things coming out where it might be a summoning of the parties come back together for more cases and fighting in court. We know it was a partial win, so technically XRP won and the SEC won. The institutional investors, I guess, bought it properly, or the public, or vice versa. Can you speak on what you think is going to happen, or what else that you know?
Sure. So I've spoken to different attorneys and some of the people at Ripple as well. It's interesting because there it's funny how this happens in crypto, the tribalism, right? You have some people are like, "Oh, Ripple lost, XRP lost," but the fact of the matter is, and like you said, SEC took a win, but I think XRP and Ripple took the bigger slice of the pie from a win standpoint. Because if your asset is declared intrinsically not a security, that's a good thing. It just means you have to be careful how you package it and how it's sold in different venues and scenarios. So I think Ripple is in a driver's seat here, despite the SEC appeals and all these things that are going to happen. And part of what I've been talking about recently is that Gary Gensler cares a lot about optics. A lot about politics is optics. How do you look? Not necessarily the facts sometimes. Right now, Gary doesn't look good because they spent years going after Ripple. This is a highly publicized lawsuit, right? Getting mainstream coverage. So he's taking a big L right now, despite Ripple may have to pay a fine. I think a lot of people anticipated that Ripple would have to pay a fine. How much, we didn't know, of course. But another loss, like for example, going against Coinbase, I think that was a very dumb move on the SEC's part. A publicly traded company that you greenlighted, that does a great job, listing tokens, and they have a very high scrutiny process. So they really screwed up there, and I think if we take a loss in the grayscale situation, it's going to be really bad for the SEC. And one of the things I've noticed, as soon as that Ripple ruling came out, we all of a sudden saw Congress, Patrick McHenry, and all these guys were like, okay, we got to get crypto bills through. They moved faster than they ever did, and the bills got marked up. They have to go get voted on, and as Congress reconvenes in September, they're going to look to push it through the House.
Now, is that declaration that XRP is not a security, is that set in stone? Because I believe Eleanor Tourette of Fox Business, who you recently had on your show and who we're having on in a couple weeks, actually, she revealed on Twitter some court documents that sort of alluded to the potential for a trial in the SEC case sometime in Q2 of 2024. So it doesn't seem like that's it seems like it was a potential win in the short term for XRP, even though it basically lost all the gains it had. It started at 50 cents and went up to almost $1, and it's now back at about 50 cents after, about a week later or so. But is that set in stone, or do you think there could be a different ruling sometime next year?
So the trials that are coming up are more on the Chris Larson, Brad Garlinghouse situation. Did they? I forgot the wording they used regarding this, but did they knowingly or do a bad job of how they sold some XRP and so forth, right?
Right.
But XRP itself, as of today, the law is XRP is not a security, and that is not on trial, to my knowledge. Now, could the SEC appeal be pushed through where they bring that back? Sure. Is it very likely? No. But anything is possible, right? I think we have to let it play out. But here's the win, though, right? It's that the asset has been relisted on all U.S. exchanges. The day after the ruling, it was like everybody started launching their services again. So that's a big win for the market. And that look, the XRP kind of represented all altcoins in the SEC's eyes. Where look, we saw they named Algorand, Cardano. They're going after everything, man. So the fact that XRP set the precedence here is really good for the entire market and secondary sales. But to answer your question, I think the trials are more related to Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson and their situation.
So, kind of talking about that, because I actually put out a short today. I saw some, rumors are starting to swirl now that XRP is being listed on some of those big exchanges in the United States. The next big target, I feel like after something like Coinbase, at least would be like a Robinhood, and some of these other, places where volume and maybe not even so many of the, crypto people are focused, but also you're getting some of that traditional finance people to buy in, do you think that XRP will be listed on something like Robinhood, even though Robinhood has technically been delisting some assets and maybe is more scrutinous than, a Coinbase perhaps? And also we had a few questions, I guess I'll just throw in there from someone in the audience. Your XRP bag says, how will XRP fare in the next bull market, Tony? And also, could you see XRP flipping ETH or Bitcoin?
So with the Robinhood situation, as a company that has a lot of eyeballs on it, a lot of targets on it, they may be a bit hesitant. I think they will eventually, as maybe things progress with the lawsuit and they see how things are going. I think it's highly possible, I should say, that they're going to list it. But there is a chance that their legal team is like, hey, let's not do this, right? Because we don't want more pressure or more scrutiny or more targets on our back. So we could see a situation like that, but it's going to be their loss, because right now the law of the land is on the ruling is it is not a security. And with regards to, I know JT, I didn't answer your question about the price movements. With regards to XRP losing all the price gains, I've been in the market so long where I didn't expect any major new all-time highs, because I understand the market cycle was not set up for that. There wasn't enough liquidity. We're not in a bull market. So I know there are some people like, oh, it's going to go to the moon, $10 on the ruling. It's like, no, you have to, the nuance of that is, where are we in the market cycle? And I think sometimes people miss that, right? And the other thing is too, just because there's a ruling doesn't mean the next day it's going to pump. You have to give things time. The news spreads, the relisting happens, liquidity comes back. These things take time. So, and to David, your question about what could happen in the future bull market, I think it's going to do well. It's back on the exchanges. It has mainstream coverage. There's a clear distinction that it won the lawsuit, even though technically the SEC won against Ripple. So there's different narratives and optics here that support new all-time highs. But I tell people all the time, Bitcoin is the king. The market moves Bitcoin. The liquidity goes to Bitcoin and then to the altcoin. So we have to see how Bitcoin does.
Well, this is all getting very exciting. I want to talk about some like the XRP updates. I've noticed, are we seeing that smart contracts are on the platform, or they're coming out? There's more NFT volume and a lot of more CBDC rumors. Can you speak on any of that there?
Yeah, sure. So I think with this clarity, and I just hit my old computer, we're going to see more building. So more devs are going to come on board. And there was activity before. Like I personally minted an NFT collection on the XRP ledger. So you're going to see a lot more building. One of Ripple's employees, I think Monica Long on TV the other day, said they're revisiting their partnerships with US companies, which essentially says when that lawsuit happened, everything dropped in the US, right? Which makes sense. No company would want to touch the asset or the blockchain. So they're going to revisit that. There was the MasterCard news that their MasterCard is working with Ripple and Consensus and a bunch of other folks to test CBDCs. And look, I'm not the biggest fan of CBDCs, but I understand they're inevitable. I don't see anybody stopping this. Even the Bitcoiners, right? They can say, oh, CBDCs are the devil and 666 or whatever, right? Whatever they tweet. I'm like, your tweets are not going to stop.
They're gonna need something other than a casket carrying cash at the next conference, because I don't know how they're gonna get rid of it.
Exactly. So you're just talking about narratives. You're just putting hot air out there, right? And which is fine. Everybody has their opinion. But my thing is to engage with the regulators and people that I'm talking to in the lobbying groups to make sure, at least here in the United States, our CBDC, the digital dollar, respects our rights, the privacy, and it aligns with the Constitution. So the CBDCs are coming, and XRP is one of the platforms where they have built what's called the Ripple CBDC platform, where it helps banks to kind of go through the 3-click process of setting this up. And I recently interviewed Ripple's James Wallace, and we talk about this, and they're working with different central banks around the world.
You just watched a clip from episode 69 of The Next Block. If you enjoyed this clip, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. To catch the entire episode, check out the video description down below for a link to that live episode, as well as links to our sponsors and our Algorand donation wallet. This donation wallet can accept all sorts of Algorand standard assets and is a great way to support the channel. Also, let us know down in the comments below what you think. We'd love to hear your thoughts and who you think we should have on the podcast next. We appreciate everyone that watches to the end of these videos, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.